Hey there. Do you ever want to kill anybody? I know there's been lots of times where I've wanted to kill somebody and I see red and there seems like I can't do anything unless I imagine their head getting hit by a baseball bat. It feels really good to do that. So today I'm going to give you 5 different steps to avoid hitting somebody with a baseball bat or something worse. And I'm not condoning physical harm in any way. I'm joking, but sometimes we get so angry. So first I'm going to give you a step-by-step how I get through it or what you can ask yourself. And at the end, I'm going to give you some solutions or what might help you. Thank you for coming by. This is Artsy Wisdom again. I appreciate any and all new subscribers and any all thumbs up and likes and shares. I really appreciate it. So has anybody taken credit for something that you did, betrayed you in some way, shape, or form, violated your space, broke something of yours, hurt you emotionally? Or a lot of us have a hard time getting past that because you came from a family that had really poor conflict resolution abilities, or your parents argued and there was no resolution, or people just went into silent mode and just stuck in their resentment and didn't speak for days. Those are just a couple ideas. So if you come from that, it's really hard to speak up and speak your truth. I'm holding my crystal, by the way. That's what I want. This is a beautiful crystal. And so I went through this my whole life, examining why I wasn't speaking up for myself and why I would get more and more angry. Early in my life, I would just accept it and think what was wrong with me instead of what's happening in the situation. What part did the other person contribute? Sometimes it was very easy to know, and sometimes I gave in. And I would say 3/4 of the times I gave in. And then eventually I started to expect more and more and more, especially in my 40s when I started to get help through my adult children of alcoholics meetings. It's a lot of healing, hypnosis, a lot of self-care books, learning about my inner child. There's been so many techniques and things that I've learned to get me to this point. So there may be this short period of time where you just want to scream and throw things or hit something or kill the person, like I said. So what you're going to do is you are going to walk away. That's the first idea. Walk away. Get out of the space. If you can walk away physically, get out of the room, get out of the house, go down the block. Some of that pent up stuff, it just needs to be released out of your body. You need to breathe and get into your body, because a lot of times when we're angry, it's a mental things, it's emotional, but it's also mental. It's like you're imagining all the worst case scenarios, all of this stuff. And just to take yourself out of that situation, that's the first step. Take yourself out of the situation by walking, getting out of the room, getting out of the house, getting out of the office, getting out of the space that you're in as much as you can. You start walking, and as you walk, you're going to be breathing. And what you're going to bring that breath in and out. Really focus on it. And as you do that, you bring it in through your nose. It gives you a natural calming effect. And it also is really difficult to do 2 things at once. If you are focusing on only your breath and walking, or even if you end up sitting still at some point, you are listening to your breath and you hear the sound of it going to your lungs and relaxing your body, and then you blow it out and it gets more and more elongated, longer to exhale. You'll find that you're naturally going to relax. As you do that, you're going to be more into your body. You'll be less and less in this place of regurgitation of all the slights and all the stuff that person has ever done to you, and you'll be in your body. And as you walk or as you sit and you're doing this deep breathing, you'll get more and more relaxed. And I want you at that point to start seeing how your feet are placed. If you're sitting on the ground, where your feet are on the ground or where you're sitting, what you're feeling. As you do that, you'll notice initially calm down. Then after that, after you take it, if you can, do this for at least 15 minutes. And I guarantee you, in that 15-minute time, if you take the time to do that, you will find a different perspective. It may not be great distance from the original perspective, but it will be different. And you will calm down and you start to see things in a different light, especially when you go outside, because you'll be out in nature, or even if you're in a city, you'll notice things with your eyes that'll take your mind to a different place versus that person or that situation. Okay? So that's one. If you're feeling up to it and you feel like you have extra time, I would look for funny things or call a friend who is very positive or joking. Not to complain to this friend, but to talk to them. And they can give you a positive perspective that maybe you weren't seeing. There's that. So after you do that, you're getting out of your space as long as you can, getting into your body. That's one. You're talking to somebody that's positive or funny. TikTok videos too, that kind of goes in that same category. 2. 3, you're going to ask yourself a bunch of questions. Why am I so angry? Because you have to be in a calm place to ask yourself these questions. Sometimes really hard to ask. And is it because my parents, I grew up in a place that had a lot of drama? Do you feel powerless? Because when we feel powerless, we get angry at the other person, but in reality, we've accepted our powerlessness and we're not powerless. We have choice every day in every way. So instead of feeling powerless, you can take action. And by asking yourself those few questions, do I feel powerless? Does my family like drama? Did I come from that? Do I feel like I don't have authenticity inside of me to speak up for my needs? Did I come from a codependent family that had no boundaries and my needs didn't matter? That goes into that powerless category as well. If I feel disappointed, I feel powerless, whatever that thing is that you feel, what is behind that? You're angry, you're disappointed, you're powerless, you're mad because they took credit, you're just mad. And it's hard to get to that feeling of why. And maybe it's as simple as they did something wrong. But maybe there's also another part of that where you feel there's a secondary feeling or a secondary problem behind the anger. And sometimes that's hard to get to. So by sitting in that breathing state or that calm state, that's why I suggest doing that first, is to ask yourself those questions. Say somebody betrayed you at work. Somebody lied about something you did and you didn't do that. So what is the feeling behind that? Betrayal? Is it a violation of your personal space? Does it feel like you'll never be able to get credit for what you did because they took it away from you? By clarifying what you actually did and whatever that looks like. By putting it out to whoever that you actually did this and fighting for yourself. And sometimes fighting for yourself is really hard. And we get to that place, especially women, we kind of give up a little bit and we go, oh, it'll never change. This is how it is. So that gets to that place of powerlessness. You are not powerless. Your needs are as equal to the other person's, or more, actually. So accepting that and believing that is your place of moving forward. And the next step would be, on a spiritual level, is you're going to ask for guidance, and you're going to ask angels, ancestors, and all your guides to separate you from the situation so you can see it from a higher perspective. You can see it from a place of your soul level. What are you supposed to learn? That's a hard question, and sometimes when you're so angry and you want to get out the baseball bat, it's really hard. But like I said, you're going to go through those other steps first. And you're going to ask Archangel Michael to take his mighty sword and cut the cord between you and that anger. you and that person, you and that situation, protecting you, but also giving you strength so you can understand your next steps, so you can hear the hard answers to those questions you're going to ask yourself. All those steps down the way should lead to the next one. At the end, you should find that you're a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more higher perspective, that you can function in your life, and you'll find some resolution eventually. And after you've asked for spiritual guidance, seen the higher perspective, your soul perspective, what you're supposed to learn, the fifth and final step is to take action. Write down the steps that you need to take so this doesn't happen again. And having the steps that it doesn't happen again, gives you your power back. Makes you realize that you have choices. You always have choices. It's just sometimes we forget. And at the end, you will also write down what you're grateful for, all the blessings you have. This will be so beneficial every day. I love doing that because it always takes me back out of what's wrong and you go into what's right. What abundance we have. We just forget because we're so used to it every day. So that would be it. So thank you for coming by. I really appreciate any and all comments. Like I said, we're all fractions of light. We're all here together to love each other. So till next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Press the button right here so every time I come out with a new video, you'll be the first to get it.